Okay, welcome to the middleware demo. I've started this by visiting demo.middlware.io and I'm greeted with the middleware splash screen. So I can start by logging into the app by clicking that. And then I'm greeted with a username and password screen. So you can have multiple users for your app and each with their own individual login. So if I log in as ECS, I'm greeted with the home screen. So on the home screen you can see two things immediately. I've got the grid stack, which we call this the grid stack, which shows you all the individual categories which are shortcuts for categories basically here. So you can see holiday essentials, home entertainment and spruce up your garden here. These are all shortcuts to categories within the app. And I will show you how to edit those in a second. Along the bottom you can see the shortcuts we've got. So we've got home icon, we've got browse, which allows you to see categories and search for products. We've got customer, which allows you to search for existing customers. Settings, which are just the settings particular to the app, and the currently logged in user here. And then last you can see the cart. So first we'll go through this home page here. So the grid stack, we can see we've got this holiday essentials block which is much bigger than all the others, and this is editable by the user if you're a manager. So if I click edit on the right hand side here, you can see I now have options to edit. I can move around these blocks, so I can choose to move this with the arrows, or I can use the burger menu to edit the details. So I can choose to delete it, or I can change some settings about it. So this one that says party favourites and gifts for girls. So I can change the title, which is party favourites, the subtitle, which is gifts for girls, and then there's multiple other options I can change too, such as target, which is which category it goes to, and background colour if I wasn't showing an image. If I just cancel that, I won't change those this time round. Then I'll just cancel that. So these are all shortcuts effectively. So if I was to click on holiday essentials, we'll see it will take me to a category within the app. It says clothing. So these can go to any existing categories you have. You can see all my products here. So if I go home and I click on browse in the toolbar, you can see these are the categories that I have set up. I've got clothing, decor and music. So if I just go into this category, just swiped along there to see the view all because it has subcategories, it goes to the same place. So if I go back home, this is just one way of accessing your categories in the app. So I can use this home page here with shortcuts that I create myself, with images that I create myself and my own titles, or I can use the predefined ones in browse, which are just ones that pull through from my integration. Right, so just to show, that's just showing the home page. So what I'll do now is start a trading session. So before I can sell anything on my app, I need to open a trading session. So if I go to settings at the bottom here, first of all I go to trading session, and here on screen I can see all of my current cash draws that I've got set up. So think of each of these cash draws as a physical draw which is taking money, which I can set up elsewhere in the app with this draws section here. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to add a new cash draw, and let's say I've got one sitting in front of me right now, and I'm going to call it Ryan's cash draw. You can see it's been created successfully. So now if I go to trading session, I can now see Ryan's cash draw and it says start session. You can see that on a bunch of these it says start, but some also say join. This means that on this device that I'm using now, I can join another trading session. So you could have multiple tills connected to one cash draw. But what I'm going to do for this one is just start a new session. So if I choose start, it's going to ask me what my float amount is. So how much am I putting in the cash draw at the start of the day? Let's just put 100. And that's it. We can see the session's been started. We can see it says initial float here and when it was started and the name of the draw, and then just some other details which we don't need to worry about for the moment. So now that I've opened my trading session, I can actually start buying things in the app. So first of all, I'll go to the home page, back to my effectively collection of shortcuts, and I'm going to choose Work from Office, which is this one here. So this is taking me to a music category. So you can see there's 4 products in this category currently. And if I click on an item, it's going to give me some details. So if I choose album, I can see I've got the product image, I've got a description, and then a longer description down here. I've also got the price of the product and the name. All of these details are currently pulling through from an integration. So they all pull through from whichever the master database is. So for this first product, I'm just going to add it. And you can see I get told it's added at the top, and also down the bottom here, where the cart is, I've now got an underline showing that I've got things in my cart. So I'm just going to add something else. Add, and these are all simple products, fairly straightforward, and as you see, just one more, add again. Now that's one way of adding products, and a way to view it. If I now go cart, I can see a summary of what I've ordered, or what I've put in the cart. You can also see a barcode feature up here, which I will show shortly. But before that, I will swap to another view. So if I close this, and I now go to Settings and Features, we can see I've got a bunch of settings here, but I've got 2 near the top: Enable Persistent Side Cart and Enable Quick Add to Cart. I'm going to enable both of those. So that, you'll see when I go to the home page, will have changed my layout. I've now got a persistent cart which will follow me around the app. So rather than having to click the modal at the bottom, click the cart icon to show the modal, I can always see what's added to my cart all the time. So if I go back to that category, and let's remove these products, which I can do by just either clicking the minus button, or swiping along and clicking the dustbin. So now I've got album, alt, single still. If I click on each one, because they're simple products, I can just add them straight into my cart, and you can immediately see the cart updates on the right hand side here. Something else I can do is I've got a barcode copied here. So if I had a scanner and I was scanning barcodes, let's just remove these products so it's clearer. I can go in here, I'm just going to paste my barcode because I know what it is, press return, and you can see it's added a polo shirt because that was the barcode of the polo shirt. And the other things I can do when something's in my cart is I can use the plus and minus like I did a second ago, so plus just to add, or I could swipe along and I could remove like I did earlier, or I can use this button in the middle to update the quantity. So I've currently got 6, and I could change it to 10. That immediately updates it to 10 and swipes it back. What I can also do is add discounts to the product. So if I change that just back to a quantity of 1, I swipe it along, and I press on this third icon here, that now gives me a modal, which gives me the option to edit a price, edit the discount, or edit the percentage discount. So each one of these does something slightly different. So edit price is to edit the physical price, so it's currently £20. I'm going to change it to 10, so just go 10. Put my trackpad, so 10, and it's now a price of £10. And we can see that's updated on the front end. What I can also do is if I add another product, there are other types of discount. So if I go back to discount again, and I go edit discount, this one is for a fixed amount. So this is £15 and I want to take £5 off it. So I could just go 500, and I've got this little shortcut 00 here. Click submit, and as you can see, it's taking £5 off the price, so it was originally 15. It says the discount of £5 here, it even gives you a percentage if you want to see it that way, and then it shows you the edited price. So if I click done, that album's now £10. And the last one, if I go for single, if I swipe along and add another discount, I'll do a percentage this time. So this time I'm going to add 50% discount, so 50, 00, and submit. We can see that I gave it a 50% discount. So those are just 3 different ways that you can add discount to a product. And another thing with discounts is that they are managed or supervised by manager login. So if I was to log in as a user with restricted access, I would see a modal. So I'll show that now. So if I just remove these products, I'll log out of my session, and I'll log in as a user with restricted access. So we'll go in as staff. And obviously it's a very secure thing there. So go Holiday Essentials, because you can also see at the top here that I don't see the edit icon, because the staff user also doesn't have access to change the front end. But if I go to Work from Office, go to the same category, click on Album, and if I try to add a discount to this, it's going to ask me for a manager login. And so here, if I enter the same login I've just used, which is the staff login, it won't work. Try to elevate with current logged in user, so it just won't let me do that. So I've got to be a manager to be able to do that. So if I now log in as ECS again, the discount will be approved. And then I get the discount modal, and I can now change the discount. So if I now edit the price, and I'll change this to 10, you can see that that worked. And if I was to do it again, it would ask me again. So what I'll do now is I'll just log back in as the manager user. So log out. Okay, so going back to this category, that's a lot of things that you can do within a category and on the items themselves. Another thing we can do is save carts, which is effectively like a tab. So you can see I've got 3 items in my cart here, and what I want to do is save these for later. So I'm going to go down the bottom here, go to Save, and enter a name, and I'm going to call this Ryan's Saved Tab. And you can see it clears my cart, and then I can move on. But what I can do now is on any devices which are connected to this database, I can now click Load, and you'll see all the connected tabs. So you can see here's some I've set up earlier. I've got Rob's birthday group, I've got table 12, I've got table 1, 2, table 13, and then there's Ryan's Saved tab. If I add that, there's my 3 products back in again. And then I can just continue checking out as I did, and they will stay there unless I check out. So if I check out now, that cart will disappear. If I was to clear the items, then it would stay on there. So another way to use the app is to navigate through this browse modal here. So browse, if I open this up, shows you the existing categories as well as the items you can add. So you can see here I've got clothing, decor and music. And if I click on the arrow on the right hand side of clothing, I've got my subcategories, accessories, hoodies and t-shirts, and I can just click through and see what's in there. But what I want to do here is, first of all, is I can search for items. You can see the cursor is at the top here. I'm going to search for a v-neck, which I know is in here. And you can see it does a fuzzy search. So it's v-neck, and I've just put v-neck in and it's found it. And then I can use this to add items directly from this screen. One extra thing about this item in particular is that it's a configurable item. So if I try to add this, we can see that it's a variable product, and it's asking me for some options before I add it. So I can add the colour, blue, green or red, and then I can add the size. I'm going to do medium. And then I'm just going to add that to my cart. V-neck's been added, and there we can see that it's been added here. Obviously, if you had the barcodes for these things, you could just type them straight in at the top here or scan them in and they would just add straight away, and it would be a lot quicker. So some other things we can do is filtering within categories. So if I show you this category here, which has that same t-shirt in, that v-neck t-shirt, I can go to the top. I've got this search here, and if I search for neck and press return, we can see at the top here that I've searched for neck within the clothing category. So I've got both options here. And I can remove one if I don't want to use it. So I could remove the neck option and go back to the category once I'm done. So that's just another way of searching within the category you're already in. And in the top right here I've got options to sort. So I can go sort by name, and I can do ascending or descending. And I've also got bestseller, which will just be different for everyone depending on the amount of items that have been ordered. But every time an item is ordered, it gets incremented in the database, and then it will, so if you have 100 orders, this thing's going to change depending on how many times an item's been ordered. So another thing we have in the app here is we could show you about item groupings. So if I now go to Browse, and I'll go back here to Music, we can see we have these 4 items. So we have a way of grouping items with color codes. So if I go to Settings, I go down to Items, you can see this item group colors. Apply a color label to these item groups. It will show us a thick border at the top of the item. So you can see I've only got one group here, and it's called Test, and it's asking me to enter a hex value. So I can enter a hex color code, or I could just enter blue, red, green, but I'll enter a hex one because it looks a bit nicer. So that's a nice blue. So I've added that color, and what this does is all products that have this group on will now have this border applied. So if I now go to Browse and Music, you can now see we've got this blue border. So if you imagine you have 10 different product groups, you could have different colors for each one, and it's another way of grouping your products, because if you're scrolling through a lot of products, you want some nice ways of differentiating between them than just reading the text, because we have other options in the app as well to remove images. So you may not be showing images on yours, so I could actually show that here. If I go to Settings and Features, I've got Enable Product Images here. So if I turn that off and I go back to that category, Music, we can see that they've still got this blue border at the top but no image. So if you were scrolling through a lot of those all at once, those colours are going to help you. And I'll just go turn that image setting back on. Okay, so now that we've seen all the different ways that we can add items and discount them, change them, update things, now what we want to do is we want to check out. So currently on the right hand side we can see we've got a subtotal here with VAT and then another subtotal. We can see which cash drawer we're applied to, and we've currently got no customers set. So what I'm going to do is just check out. On the left hand side we can see a summary of all the items that I've got in my cart with the subtotal and the balance remaining left to pay, and again which drawer I'm applied to and that there's no customers set. In the middle I've got the option to create a new customer, use an existing customer, or do guest checkout, and for this one I'm just going to do a guest checkout and we'll come back and do these later. So now I've got 4 options. I can use my card, I can use cash, voucher or on account. So on account is greyed out because I haven't got a customer set. So if I had a customer set, I could use the on account method. Voucher just allows you to pay any amount with a voucher, but you just need to put the voucher code in. Cash and card will look the same, but obviously card will connect to whatever merchant you're using. So if I go into cash, all the methods look the same once you're inside them. You see full balance at the top here. So if you get given the exact cash, I can just press that and it will complete the order. I've got this 50% option here, which is 50% of this remaining balance, which if people are going to split their payments. And we've also got some default values here of 200, 150, which if you just want to press those. And if someone was giving you an exact amount of money which wasn't the total here, you could just go show keypad and enter that amount here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back, I'm going to click cash, and I'm going to go full balance. And that's going to complete my order. And you're immediately going to see that it's going to try and print my receipt because I'm in a web browser, whereas obviously this would go to a thermal receipt printer normally. So if I cancel that, and now I'm greeted with this screen. So you can see on the right, I've got the option to print my receipt again if I need to. I can see when it was created, and I've got an order ID, some VAT and the total, and my order summary again. At the bottom here, you won't have seen it because it happened quite quick. You can see that I've got this external ID of 366. That was spinning to show that it was loading and syncing with my integration. So this in particular, this session here is linked to WordPress. So that order has now sent to WordPress. So what I can do now is I can continue to place another order. So this time I will do a split payment. So if I go back to Holiday Essentials and let's add a beanie, I'll go to the checkout. This time I'm going to use an existing customer. So if I choose this, I can search for myself. And you can see there's Ryan Demo, I use that one. And I can see my existing order, which I've placed before, which was yesterday. And I can apply myself to the cart. I can now see that my email address is here on the left. And I now have the option to email a receipt to myself. So if I'm placing an order at the till, I can also get an email on my phone. So what I'll do for this one is I'll do a split payment. I'll do an on-account payment and then split it with cash. So if I go on account and I want to choose 50%, so I'm going to pay half there. You can see that the balance remaining is now 9 and the balance paid is 9. So it shows how much I've paid and how much I still need to pay and how much the total is. So now I can go cash and just go full balance. And you can see the order sync this time. It's spinning, which means it's still sending to the server. This, even though it's quick this time, sometimes may take longer. It just depends on the server it's sending to. But you can still use the app while that's sending, so that doesn't slow you down in any way. So now I'll go back to home again. So now I've placed 2 orders. What I want to do now is see my orders in the app. So if I go to Settings, Orders, I can see that there's 2 orders here that I've placed, and you can see there's many more demo orders. So the one I've just placed for that £18, if I click View, I can view, print, or return it. So this is just our demo receipt. You're effectively seeing what the receipt printout looks like. And I can see that I did a split payment of cash and account here, £9 each, and who I was served by, which is obviously me because I'm logged in here. And then just details of the order itself. And I have the option here to do a return. So if we scroll down, you'll see what some of them look like. I can see that this was partially refunded, which means I can still return it. And I think there will still be another one further down, which has been fully refunded. And you can see that there are orders loaded there. So this one here has been fully refunded, so I can't return anymore. So if I scroll back up to the top, the orders will load as I scroll. So if I click Returns, I can just see the item, and I can return it. If I press plus, create a return, I now get the option to choose where I want the refund to go to. These 2 options are grayed out, card and voucher, because I didn't use them. We have a setting to allow voucher to be refundable, and on account is allowed because the customer can have it sent to themselves. But I'm just going to do cash for this and do full balance. So we can see that it's refunding there, and I get a pop-up at the top there saying return created successfully. And now we'll see in the order screen that it's been fully refunded. There we go. I can now see my order's been refunded, and I can't do any more to it because it's been refunded. You also have the option at the top here to search. So at the moment, I'd have to scroll down to see all my orders, and obviously if you have a lot of orders, you're going to be scrolling for a while. So what I can do is I can go search by, and I can choose order number if I know what it is, my customer name, or my receipt number. So if I go customer name, and press OK, and I search for Ryan, I'm going to see a lot of orders because obviously I've placed a lot of orders. But like you saw earlier, when I used my customer account, I only had 1 previous order. So this is just searching for all customer names that are Ryan. So there's many Ryans in this demo system, and these are all the different orders. But you can filter various different ways. Okay. So next, I'll just show you some settings we've got here for timeout, because you can see the full process here. So if I go to settings and features, So if I was to leave my till for 2 minutes, it would time out. Let me just change this to 10 seconds so we can see how this looks. If I save this, and I'm just going to refresh my page, and if I log in again, and now if I log in and I wait 10 seconds, you should immediately see the timeout. So just wait a short while here, it will pop up and it will give me a countdown. And I've got until the end of that countdown to log back in. So I can choose to lock now, or I can continue my session. So what I'm going to do is just continue my session for the moment. And I'm just going to go and change that setting so it doesn't interfere. So if I just go back to features, change this to 120 seconds, and I'll refresh again. So earlier when I placed an order, I went into the checkout and added a customer. I can also do the same from here. So if I click customer and I search for me again, you can see all the different ones I've got. I'll just do the same guy again, Ryan Demo. I can see I've now got 2 orders since I placed another. Click apply to cart and I've been applied. And you can see my name at the bottom there. So now I can add some more products and check out. And because I'm logged in already, I don't get those other options. I just get the payment stage one. And I've got the ability to use card, cash, voucher, or on account. So for this one, I'll just do voucher. And I need to, if I want to do full balance with a voucher, you can see I need to enter a voucher code. So if I just do Ryan10, full balance, and that voucher code has now paid, and that voucher code's gone through. And it's just trying to print that receipt again. And that's it. So some other options I've got. If I choose ECS at the bottom here, you can see my name. I clicked it earlier to log out. The other option I have is a no sale. So logging out as the user or a no sale. So if I do a no sale, you can see it's just, this is a way to open the cash drawer. So you're telling the system that you've opened the cash drawer and it logs it in the Z report. But it's a way for the user to open the cash drawer without putting a transaction through. But it is logged. So now we'll finish this by ending our trading session. So if I go to settings and trading session, we can see it just brings the summary up which I had earlier, and I just want to end this session. So I put an initial float of 100 and I'm just going to put any old number in. If I do 50. So I have the option to press OK, cancel or preview. So OK will just put this through. If I press preview, I get the option to look at the Z report before it's put through. So I can see what the draw was, I can see when the session started and when it ended, what orders have gone through, so there were 4 cash orders totaling 107, 3 card orders, 1 voucher order and 1 on account. I can see the number of payments gone through, the refunds, the total refund payments, and I also see the no sales, and I only did 1 of those. So you can see how many times the cash drawer was opened with no transactions. And then at the bottom here you get the original float amount, and how much I've declared and what the variance is. So if I submit that, that Z report's now been submitted. So what I can now do is if I click on trading sessions, I'm just going to click away and then click back to trading sessions. Sorry, not trading sessions. We can see on trading sessions that it's now finished my session. So Ryan's cash drawer only gives me the option to start. If I go to Z reports, I can now see, much like the order screen, a list of Z reports, and I can see my latest one at the top here. And I can see this figure here is the variance. So you can see that it's 0 for others, which means there was no variance, but this latest one means there's a variance in the report. And I can click view, and I see the same view I just had, and I can go through it. Maybe close that. And then that brings us to the end of the demo. So I'm just going to log out at the bottom here.